chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
So, is it just me? Am I the weirdo, or do you guys agree?
You're the weirdo.
Okay. So, like, you have your water cup at work, right? But, like, your work situation is never, like, ideal for being able to wash your water cup at work. So, I am more afraid of using the communal sponge to clean my cup than I am of just, like, whatever my mouth is growing on this cup. Like I'll fill it with like boiling hot water, like I'm putting tea in it, and I'll like swish it around and like wipe it out with a paper towel. But I'm not putting the communal sponge anywhere near my drink.
No, that is the right move.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually do use the communal sponge. Well, not sponge. We have like a handle with like a
brush.
Brush. Yeah, so I use the scrub brush to clean. I bring like a yogurt with like a homemade yogurt berry shit like that in it, and I'll scrub that out with the communal brush. But then I bring that home and put it in the dishwasher. I basically scrub it so it doesn't get my lunchbox dirty.
Yeah.
But my water cup, I will never touch that with it. Like I'm using that, and then I don't want
It will look like brand new, and I'll be like, if this were at my house, I would for sure use this, like without a hesitation. But I'm not. Like, I don't even want to touch the sponge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
No, I wouldn't do it unless it had a handle.
No, sponges are
I would just risk the yogurt and then have to wash the lunchbox more often at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need everything that rubs every piece of food and everybody's mouth germs. Everybody's mouth germs.
Yeah.
If they use silverware, fuck that. Public silverware sponge, I'm not fucking with that. That's not for me.
Good.
Yeah, I also have to bring a spoon home, so like I have to wash that because I'm not using like plastic spoons every day.
Yeah, I have my little Tupperware dish. So I just squirt some soap in and put the lid on, and some water. Put the lid on and shake it, and then like that. Now it's clean. Now I can take it home.
Actually, a good idea. I didn't even think about like just shake it up. Well, it won't get all the yogurt residue off, but that's still fine.
It can if you. Yeah.
Well, it depends on how hard I.
Keep going. Don't stop.
So close. All right, well, welcome to ChuggieBets, everybody. My name is Matt. Andy's to the side of me. Danny's sitting below me. And there you go. And Al over in the corner. Before we do anything, let's drink some beer. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Danny, let's high five.
Oh, that looks so good.
That's pretty good. I didn't chug, I just drank.
So college football season's upon us. And we got the NFL breathing down our necks. I do want to talk some college football topics today, and then we're going to transition into some soccer. So everybody, this is going to be a football podcast. It's going to be half soccer, half football. Just ride with me. If you want to listen to just the soccer portion, go to like minute 16 or 17. Shit, I don't know. We'll just play a game. Pick a moment in time, and let's figure out what we're going to be talking about.
And if we're still talking about the other football, then do it again.
Yeah, then go back to the beginning, listen from the start, and then you'll find it eventually. Let's try minute 12 or minute 20. I don't know. Choose your own adventure today. The Coaches Bowl came out in college football. I don't know if you guys have any opinions on it. Let me bring it up really quick. But I did think there were some things that were a little bit surprising. So I'm going to go through what is listed as the top four, and those will most likely be the playoff teams. You got Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, and Ohio State. I don't know if anyone has any issues with those top four. I think Alabama may be a little high. I think Andy and I have talked about this on a previous podcast, the SEC. I can see Alabama losing 3 games this year. I think this is probably the weaker teams in Alabama history, which is probably a guarantee they'll win a national championship now that I say that. But any thoughts on the top four?
I have a fun game we should play, and it's assume that only 3 of those teams make the playoffs. Who's the 4th team?
Who'd you say again? It was Georgia,
Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State.
I mean, LSU, USC, Florida State would be my next 3, I think.
Yep, I would agree with that. Maybe Clemson, but
I don't like Clemson as much.
Okay, so pick your one. Who's your one then?
Georgia.
No, I mean the one team.
The one next one. I guess I'd have to say LSU because they're the next best SEC team, and there's always 2 SEC teams.
would probably be my bet as well.
I'd go USC.
So like if Alabama or Georgia falls out, then it's going to be LSU is the next one that gets in. But I think it's going to be Alabama and Georgia.
Is it heresy that I say FSU just because I think they coming from the
really
weakest
good,
conference, they're going to be in the best position to do so, and all they need is for like two of those teams to fail, more so than for them to excel beyond expectations.
Ooh, I could feel like right down here, something's getting a little.
Jordan Travis.
Oh, bless my heart. I'm perspiring. No, I hope so.
Matt's got the vapors.
I do. Yay, man. Your mouth to God's ear. Look, if they can make it through September with one loss. That's it. You got to make it through September with one loss, and you got to hope. You got two really good games that are going to be good resume builders.
Is FSU LSU like literally next week?
It is next. Yeah, next.
Yeah.
Sunday, not this Sunday.
If FSU beats LSU, they could end up being a top 5 team all year.
I hope so. Yeah. And then they have Clemson. They have to go on the road at Clemson, and then in October they should roll through. I think they'll be double-digit favorites in every game in October, and then November gets a little tricky with Pitt, Miami, Florida. But
Pitt's always weird in the ACC. Pitt can beat anybody, even when they're bad. It's so weird. I hate them.
I hate them too. They're the worst. And it's so boring the way they beat you. Yeah. Even when they had Kenny Pickett, it was boring. And I hate him.
It's like they make you look like you don't know what you're doing. Like, so you want to blame your team for losing to Pitt, but really it's like
we were number 1 when Kenny Pickett beat us when he was a freshman.
Yeah, I hate it.
The team I would pick is Texas.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Because the Big 12 is right for the picking.
Samson cut his hair, man. Quinn Ewers can't do it this year.
It's true. He's weak.
Wait, Quinn Ewers can't do it, though. He's got Arch Manning right behind him, ready to step in.
Delilah.
Delilah.
It's fun to say.
So their schedule's super easy when it comes to the Big 12, the top performing teams in the Big 12. Outside of, they got to play Oklahoma. They kicked the fuck out of Oklahoma. What was it, 42-0? Just absolutely stomped Oklahoma last year.
Ben Unables.
Hey, I like that. But Quinn Ewers is good, and I do think there's a legitimate chance he wins a Heisman this year. If it's not Caleb Williams, if you have to take the field, Quinn Ewers is a really good option. The problem with USC is Pac-12 is so loaded at the top. They got to play Washington, Oregon. All these teams are like 8.5, 9 game win totals. Of course, some of those won't come true, but that means they're going to win tough games. There's teams that can win challenging games on the road or at home. I'd take Texas.
Yeah.
That's fun. We all pick different teams. This is going to be a fun season.
There's one more I want to talk about. It's not my pick, but I think Penn State is an interesting one. Obviously, they're not going to get in along with Michigan and Ohio State. One of them would have to drop out, but I think it's entirely possible if they win their games against those two teams.
Are they expanding the playoffs in a couple years?
Next year, I think. They go to 12.
To 12? So it's going from 4 to 12?
Hmm?
That whips ass. I'm going to be so excited.
There's another dark horse team that really could get in, and
it's Miami.
No, it's Tennessee. It's Tennessee. So Tennessee was really, really awesome last year. They did change that rule that we had talked about last podcast that could affect them because they do like to play very fast, right? But they do have one of the more handsome quarterbacks in college football this year, Joe Milton. He's
shit,
good looking guy.
Dude's a smoke show.
I can't believe we made it through 4 years of college football without being able to watch this guy play for like as a starter. So he had 3 years of Michigan as a backup, and last year he was backing up Hooker. So we finally get to watch him lead a team, and I'm excited.
Yeah, like I feel like he never has gotten his full opportunity to go out there and like show that he can be the guy, and this is the year to do that. And I think there are times at Michigan where he went in there and I was like, he doesn't look like he's ready, but he has talent. And there were times at Tennessee where you were like, he's making throws, but is it the system? And now it's like it's his year and he's the man in charge and he's going to answer those questions. And I'm excited to see what he comes up with.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Tennessee in the SEC this year for sure. I really like them, and I like their coach, and I like him. So I'm rooting for them.
Yeah. I like
I
that.
do. I love his arm talent, right? There's no question Joe Milton probably has the most explosive arm in college football. Huge ability to throw the ball. His question's always been his accuracy and his timing. Hopefully he figured that out because he's got an NFL arm. Like it's
NFL arm, NFL jawline. Yeah.
Great, very marketable jawline.
And he's big. He's got a good sized
huge.
body. He's not gonna, it's not Bryce Young out there.
He also has a name that might trick some NFL GMs into thinking that he's white. So he might go significantly higher.
Yeah, he's a third also. He's Joe Milton the third.
If you put a really small comma and do a Milton Joseph, people think he's definitely white.
I do want to, if you guys have the list pulled up, I want to talk about the top 25 and teams that you don't see being ranked in the top 25. I'll start off. Look, I love Drake May. Love him. He's super fun. That offense is going to be awesome. I don't think they can stop anyone. Drake May makes them an 8-win team as a team total. Without Drake May, they may be a 5-win team. And that's banking a lot on Drake May to continue his ascension up the ladder as being the number 2 pick. And that is like a dangerous game. Fucking talented quarterback. Awesome arm. I just don't see them winning. I see them winning teams at best.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's expecting them to compete for a national championship. I think it's more their ceiling is playing to some pretty decent teams, a la Clemson or FSU if they play them. But yeah, you nailed it.
I'm also not – look, I like Sonny Dykes. I really like Sonny Dykes. I love the Bear Raid. I love what he did at Cal for the limited time period. And TCU last year was awesome. They lost a ton. Their defense is going to be okay. They maintained a lot of the defensive parts, and they played really good defense last year. They got to make up a lot on the offensive side. On a Big 12 side that they have to play a tough schedule, they have to play the tough version of the Big 12, unlike Texas. I could see them not being a top 25 team. I do think that's a little ambitious ranking. Anyone you guys?
Wisconsin and Iowa. Oh, sorry. I was going to say one finishes inside the top 10, one finishes outside. Who's who?
Iowa finishes in the top 10.
I think Iowa finishes in the top 10, yeah, because of the defense.
It comes down to Cade McNamara. Is he good? Is he what Iowa's missing? Is he what Brian Ferentz is needed to score 300 points?
I think
300.
The answer to that question is no. And that's why I think I'm going to go the other way. I would lean Wisconsin to finish top 10 over Iowa. But
what about TCU? I mean, do you think that they could fall out of the top 25? I mean, they're starting a new quarterback, Chandler Morris, right?
Yeah, that's what Matt just said.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I agree with you.
Cut that out. Sorry.
Good idea.
I agree
with you too. I have TCU rated way outside the top 25.
Yeah, maximum Duggan.
Yeah, they've got zero Duggan now.
Tough to replace. Yeah, they've got minimum Duggan.
Minimum Duggan.
Well, look, Max Duggan wasn't the starting quarterback for TCU in Game 1 last year. So he was brought in, and obviously it was the right string pull after the injury. It worked out really well. So they may be in a good spot, but I don't know. I just think that was a lucky year, right? I think things were lined up very well for TCU.
So I've got one, and I'm going to give you a random fact about the coach. And based on this fact, I want you guys to guess what team it is.
Okay.
I read this week that this coach is the first coach ever to 3 different years have a team that was in the preseason top 10 and finished the season unranked. This coach has done it 3 times. Nobody else has ever done it 3 times.
Can I take a guess?
Preseason top 10.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the game, but is it Lane Kiffin?
It's not. A little closer to your heart, Matt.
Oh, is Mike Norvell?
No.
Is it Bobby Bowden? Oh, is it A&M?
Is it Lincoln Riley?
It's A&M.
No.
It's Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo.
Yeah. They're ranked 25, so like it's not like they're super high, but I think even that might be a little too high for A&M and Jimbo.
Well, I don't know. That's a tough one because I feel like A&M. I think was last year the anomaly, or was last year like the premonition? You know what I mean? Like, I think it's more likely they do well and they outperform expectations this year. Not necessarily saying they're going to be in the running for the playoffs per se, but like, I don't know, man. Jimbo Fisher's been really good for a lot of years.
He's beaten good teams. He's only had a couple of good seasons with Florida State. He has not had a good run with A&M. He's a barely above 500 coach with A&M.
You know what? He has a very similar record to Kevin Sumlin, and they fired his ass. They didn't pay him $8.5 million, which makes it harder, but they'll fire you.
He was on his way to getting fired if he didn't beat Alabama 2 years ago.
No, this year is a big year. I do think Jimbo needs to win 8 games. If not, he's fired. I don't think it's an accident Bobby Petrino's there.
Yeah. And I think it's very reasonable that he wins 8 games. I think that they win 9 or maybe 10 games, but I don't think they're gonna do better than that.
Has Bobby Petrino gotten in a motorcycle accident yet?
Oh, not yet. I hope he has a couple motorcycles. I hope he has a sponsorship at College Station Harley Davidson.
Like, how is he not like a? Yeah, he should be like in a cameo in like Righteous Gemstones. That feels like the right spot for Bobby Petrino.
That's good. So I know we talked about some people that'll fall out, but I think a team that could actually rise. Tulane starting real low in the top 25. I think that they will move their way up until that they like max out right around the bottom of the top 10, and then they will finally lose a game and then drop. But yeah, I think that everybody's gonna be talking about Tulane, and I think they probably are the best team in the American Conference.
I agree. I think they're good. They beat USC last year in the bowl game, and obviously there's some influences. Judging things by bowl games is hard, but they're good. They're a good-ass team.
Matt, you really like Kansas State, right?
I always like Chris Klieman. I think he's up there with Kyle Whittingham that I'm not going to doubt him because he always wins 8 games. I feel like he's 8 or 9 wins every year.
Are we Cade Klubnik believers?
Unfortunately, I think I am. I think they're a considerably better team without DJU and with Cade Klubnik. And I think that's going to be a really fun game in September, especially Florida State beats LSU. Going on the road, I think that's going to be – look, Clemson has all the Jimmies and Joes, and Jimmies and Joes usually win the games. It's going to come down to the quarterback battle, and it would be really fun. It should be fireworks.
Man. Notre Dame, they're going to suck, right? By like Notre Dame standards, right? They're not going to finish top 10.
I wouldn't think so.
No, I think they'll go 8-4, somewhere around there. I think they'll be fine. Yeah. Sam Hartman makes them a lot better. It makes them a lot better.
For sure.
Klubnik was really good in the ACC championship, but really bad in the Orange Bowl, by the way. So he's kind of like, we don't know what he is.
Yeah. It also doesn't really feel like Notre Dame did anything besides add Sam Hartman. Like they were like, oh, we fixed our problem. We got Sam Hartman.
Well, they're not doing the NIL stuff.
To be fair, they were okay last year, and then they got Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
They were like 9-4.
Yeah, Sam Hartman had more weapons around him at Wake than he's going to have around him at Notre Dame too, though.
A.T. Perry?
Ooh. Yeah, exactly. There's no A.T. Perry at Notre Dame, so.
There's no future Cubs pitcher standing out there at wide receiver for him.
No, hell no.
Is Jeff Samardzija reference?
Yeah.
Who did it? Well, the interesting thing with Notre Dame is they are relying on their name value in the NBC sponsorships to say, we're not going to do NIL. We're Notre Dame. We don't need to pay the players. And I think they're going to realize really quick that if they want to stay competitive, they need to about face because their endowment is huge. They have a ton of money. They should be able to NIL much better than a lot of those teams in the Midwest, or a lot better than a team like Florida State. It was like the 8th best collective. They had a collective ranking, which is it's a sad state of affairs, but it's also great that's where college football is moving to make players employees. And a little bit of the revenue sharing. And but Notre Dame needs to embrace that if they want to stay competitive in the long term. So
Notre Dame is always going to be behind on this stuff. They stayed uncompetitive for a long time, trying to like keep their GPA rules or something for the longest time, right? Everybody needed to have like a 4.0 to get into Notre Dame, and they finally were like, "Hey, if we want to be good at football, maybe we need to let people with a 3.0 come here."
Yeah. Let's talk about the others receiving votes. If you guys want to dig through there, I don't know if there's anyone you like. I like UCLA. I know that DRT is gone for UCLA. I don't know if that matters. That team is really good.
Honestly, my list doesn't have others receiving
Oh,
votes.
here,
What are the people on the list?
Illinois.
I like Illinois too.
I do like Illinois.
TikTok, and you should. I'll tell you a reason why you should definitely be taking over 6.5 wins for Illinois. It's easy money. It's like robbing. It's how easy that money is. But
Miami got 16 votes.
That's bad votes. Wasted.
Yeah. So what do you guys?
Oh, these are wasted votes right here. Florida 63. Those are 63 votes that they could just shove right in their buttholes.
I have never seen a team with a 5.5 win total like ranked 28th. They're over under, I think, is 5.5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's too low for Florida. I don't think they can. I don't think they won't. I think they'll be bowl eligible, but I don't think they'll be much better than that. Andy, I know you're
homer votes. These are just homer votes. Like Wake Forest got 6 votes.
Andy, I know you're anti-Florida this year as far as betting perspective. Do you have any more? Can you add depth to that?
They just haven't been very good lately, and they lost their quarterback to the NFL draft, and
they're a bad quarterback though.
That's true, but I think was it Graham Mertz that transferred there?
Yeah.
The expectation was that he would grab the reins in spring practice, but it doesn't sound like he did. I think their coach was putting out calls for quarterbacks to transfer after the spring game. Yeah. He was like, if you play quarterback and you want to come to Florida, like we'll take a look at you. So, I don't think Graham Mertz is going to be the answer there. So, yeah.
Yeah, if what's his face just like is a total implosion and totally like derails the Florida football program, I'm going to be very happy.
Yeah.
Anytime Florida implodes and is bad, I'm happy. It would also really like what if Richardson is like actually awesome in the NFL though, and he was terrible at Florida. That would also kind of make me happy a little, like that he's like that awesome in the NFL, but he was so bad at Florida. Like, what if he gets to the NFL and he just like has a 95% completion percentage, but for some reason Florida's coaching was just so bad that he was throwing the ball like into the stands.
That was the play they called.
He wasn't that bad at Florida. He just didn't. I think there was
he made some of the worst throws, like highlight bad throws, like Chad Henne throwing the ball end over end through the end zone while Fasano was standing wide open. Whatever tight end we had at the time, I think it was Fasano was standing wide open when we had the play action tight end thing. It was some of the worst highlight bad throws I've ever seen.
Yeah, he makes really bad plays. Like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be good. Is really what it boils down to. If he ends up being really good in the NFL, it'll have been a miracle. I don't know who.
It's not going to help if they trade Jonathan Taylor either.
Oh my gosh, Jim Irsay, never get in an argument with the pillhead. That's really what it comes down to. You're not going to win that argument.
Sound.
Yeah, it's fair.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Can you Pitt's going to be ranked 22nd at the end of the year, right? They seem like that's just where they live. They live at the 22nd rank as well.
Like specifically that
just
one
at 22.
Higher or lower.
Somewhere between 22 and OLI though. Like they're either going to be others receiving votes at the end or 22.
Yeah, they have 52 votes. That sounds. I think they'll be 22nd.
It's a good start. It's a good start. They can get themselves to 22 if they have a good year. If they have a bad year, they're going to have exactly the same number of votes as they started with.
Did you guys touch on UCLA at all?
I briefly said that I like UCLA, but Al, if you want to add some more context.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it seems a little bit surprising that they're outside of the top 25.
I feel like UCLA could go 12-0 or 0-12. I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know what they have at quarterback, but I know like what Chip Kelly's there, right?
So, yeah.
Mhm.
So UCLA brought in a
They're gonna
bunch
have
of
some.
transfer quarterbacks. They also signed a kid named Dante Moore, who was surprising to go to UCLA. He's supposedly, what I heard, the real deal. People are really buying into him as a freshman. I will be curious to see what Chip does, but Chip doesn't need a great quarterback. He is essentially Gus Malzahn. He could have a great quarterback. He could have a bad quarterback. It doesn't fucking matter. He's going to score 30 points a game. That's just what he does. And like, I don't doubt it. I think their defense is going to be good. I think they're going to be awesome on the offensive line too.
I mean, they scored 40
Chip
points
Kelly,
a game last
Chip
year.
Kelly gets dudes drafted.
He got him 40 points a game last year, but they gave up 30 points a game. So
no. It's going to be fun football. It's always going to be high scoring. It's going to be a mess, but he's going to score points. It doesn't matter what he has. He's really good at his job.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he can. He's good at offense. He's pretty good at offense.
He is pretty good at offense.
Yeah.
I know we're running into soccer time, so maybe we'll pick up soccer another time. But give me your Heisman pick. If you had to pick a Heisman, you can't pick Caleb Williams. Who do you like?
Oh, that's not fair.
Matt, I know you like Quinn Ewers.
I do.
It's gonna be your choice.
I do like
him.
I'll go dark horse. I'm going to go Milton. I think he's just handsome enough if he has a good season. Tennessee's a running team. What's his name? Heifel likes to run the ball a lot, but if they throw the ball, he definitely could get in there with like his charm and handsomeness.
I like him too.
Who's the best running back in college football this year?
Probably Blake Corum is the one I would guess is the most pronounced.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right to me.
Okay.
What if?
I mean, like, I think he is, but I don't think that is going to be the pick I want to make for who's going to win the Heisman. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Who's Pitt's running back?
Yeah, whoever Pitt has as running back will have 2,000.
Narduzzi's the best running back.
Yeah.
Okay, I like Quinn Ewers for all the reasons I like Texas that I listed before. While you guys are looking around, I think he's going to shine.
I'd like him better with the mullet.
I agree. I think if he had the mullet, it would be a guaranteed Heisman. I would bet it for sure. But without the mullet, it's going to have to do a little more work, right? He won't have that marketability that you kind of need as a Heisman. You need to have something or extreme talent.
The thing is, it's not like he took off the mullet and he's this like handsome guy. You know, he took off the mullet and he's just like, he looks like a fucking kid, you know?
Yeah.
He looks like a kid wearing a football costume.
Who's playing QB for Bama?
I don't think
we know yet. Yeah.
No, I don't think they've announced yet. It'll probably be Jalen Milroe or no, it could be Tyson. I have no idea. I don't know who.
Yeah, they've got like three guys.
Tag of Hurts.
Tag of Hurts.
Hey, so this is not my pick because it's not a quarterback, and chances are it's going to be a quarterback. But what if Marvin Harrison Jr. just kills it? Just absolutely.
You can't say those two words.
Dude, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. What do you think?
You can't say Marvin Harrison and kills it in the same sentence. It's like saying Beetlejuice. No, back to your point.
No, I just wanted to make that joke. That was my entire point.
Honestly, though, I would love to see a wide receiver win it, and he's the best one.
He's the one. If one's gonna win,
it feels good. If it's not,
he's going to
go into this season as the highest hyped wide receiver in 5-10 years.
Oh yeah, no one's gonna fuck with Ohio State's wide receivers too. They have two of the top four probably in college football. Between what's the other guy? I can't remember his name, but
I don't know any of their names. Who's the most hyped wide receiver you can think of? Devontae Smith wasn't that hyped going into his Heisman, or not Heisman season, but his like high pick season.
DeAndre Hopkins.
He was pretty awesome, but like again, it was like a senior season.
That was a long time ago.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase is a good answer, but again,
Buka is the guy I was trying to say in Ohio State. Obviously, it was very easy for me to say. Very good. Yeah, I'm gonna go Quinn Ewers. You can go Drake May. People love the kid from LSU. I always get him mixed up with the kid from Kansas.
Oh,
Jamal.
Jalen and/or Jaden Daniels.
Oh,
Did
did I just say Jamal? That was racist. I'm
Does
sorry.
it make anybody else?
Jordan Travis.
Make anybody else feel old that like all these quarterbacks are named like Jalen and Jaden now? I feel like that was like a super popular kid's name, like when we were like in college, but now those kids are grown up. They're like adults playing college football. It makes me feel old. Like,
it does make me feel a little bit old. You're getting old, bud.
There were no Jalens or Jadens playing college football when we were in college.
Jaden,
the 2040 Heisman Trophy winner, Khaleesi Daniels.
Khaleesi.
Khal Drogo.
Elsa.
Oh, there's so many Elsas coming.
Siobhan Roy.
Man, I haven't seen this many Elsas coming since my year abroad in Norway.
Since Sven showed up to my.
Do I just make non sequiturs? I feel like this is the Rutgers conversation.
None of you guys got the
5.5 and 7.5 inch meat conversation all the time. Yeah, I'm excited for college football, if you can't tell. I think it's going to be a great time. I think we're going to have a great season. Anyone have any finishing thoughts, or should we just chug this beer and get the fuck out of here? Cheers, everybody. Hey, thank you for joining. We've been trying to produce a ton of social media content. Please follow us on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Get on YouTube Shorts. Everybody's doing it. It's the cool place to hang out. That's what all the cool people are saying is that statement. Go to Instagram, follow us there, listen to the podcast, do all that, tell your friends. We appreciate it.
If you got to the end, rewind back to 16 minutes, and that's when the soccer contest starts.
You missed it. Back to 16.
No, it was right between 15:50 and 16.
We hit an Easter egg of soccer back at the beginning. You have to be replaying it in order to get that.
You have to play the podcast backwards, unsubscribe, resubscribe, and like the podcast.
That's the key. That's how you do it. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, Cactus.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, start.
Good night,
John Boy.